You're walking down a crowded hallway minding your own business. Suddenly, someone looking at their phone walks right into you. Or maybe you just stub your toe on a table leg. Before your brain has even processed what happened, the word slips out. Sorry, you didn't do anything wrong, and the table certainly doesn't care. So why did you just apologize? In popular culture, over-apologizing is usually painted as a flaw. We're told it's a sign of low self-esteem or a lack of assertiveness. But linguists and behavioral scientists have a completely different explanation. That automatic apology isn't a glitch in your confidence. It's actually one of the most powerful survival reflexes your brain possesses. To understand the phantom apology, we have to look back at our ancestors. For early humans, living in tight-knit tribes was the only way to survive a hostile world. In a group of 50 people, social friction wasn't just annoying, it was deadly. Getting kicked out of the tribe meant facing the winter and the predators entirely alone. So we evolved a rapid response system to diffuse tension before it could spark. In linguistic terms, this is an act of negative politeness. When someone bumps into you, there is a sudden, unpredictable spike in social danger. In that split second, the primitive part of your brain panics. It doesn't care whose fault the collision was. It just knows the peace has been broken. So you throw out an apology like a distress flare. You aren't saying, I accept the blame for this. You're saying, I am not a threat to you, and I acknowledge your presence. It's the verbal equivalent of a dog showing its belly. This instinct is so strong that we even apologize for things we have absolutely zero control over. Like saying, I'm sorry it's raining outside. Researchers at Harvard Business School wanted to test just how powerful these senseless apologies really are. They sent an actor to a crowded train station on a miserable, rainy day. Her job was to approach strangers and ask to borrow their cell phone. Half the time, she just walked up and said, Can I borrow your phone? Only 9% of people said yes. But the other half of the time, she changed her script. She started by saying, I'm so sorry about the rain. Can I borrow your phone? Suddenly, 47% of people handed their phone over. Think about how wild that is. She didn't cause the weather, and the apology made no logical sense. But that superfluous apology acted as a bridge. It signaled empathy, telling the stranger, I see that you are uncomfortable, and I care about your state. By taking on a tiny bit of blame for the weather, she proved she was a safe member of the tribe. But if apologies are so great, why does it feel like some people do it way more than others? Specifically, why do women tend to apologize more often than men? For a long time, society assumed men simply refused to admit when they were wrong. But a 2010 study found something surprising. When researchers tracked everyday interactions, men actually apologized for their mistakes just as often as women did. The difference wasn't their willingness to say sorry. The difference was their threshold for what actually deserved an apology. Women, on average, had a much lower threshold for what counted as an offense. If they interrupted someone or asked for a favor, it registered as a social bump. Men simply didn't perceive those minor interactions as offenses that required fixing. This gap is heavily driven by how we socialize children. Girls are often rewarded for maintaining group harmony, while boys are often rewarded for asserting dominance. So the apology gap isn't about weakness versus strength. It's two different calibrations of the exact same ancient radar. Now, this doesn't mean you should apologize for everything. Like any tool, if you overuse the social glue, it loses its stickiness. When you constantly say sorry for just taking up space, people stop hearing it as empathy. They just start seeing you as small. This is why psychologists suggest replacing sorry with thank you. Instead of sorry I'm late, try thank you for waiting. Instead of sorry for talking so much, try thank you for listening. You still honor the social bond, but you do it from a place of gratitude instead of guilt. But the next time you bump into a table and apologize to the wood, don't beat yourself up. Your brain isn't broken, and you aren't weak. It's just doing what kept your ancestors alive, making sure the tribe stays together.